All right, picture this for a second. You're a football manager starting a brand new team, and you've literally only got one spot left on your roster. You are forced to choose between two absolute titans of the game. On one hand, you've got this relentless, goal-scoring machine who has shattered pretty much every record in the book. On the other hand, a joyful magician who, quite literally, made millions of people fall in love with the sport. Who do you actually pick? It's kind of an impossible choice, right? We'll keep that in the back of your mind because as we dive into this explainer today, your whole perspective on these two legends might just flip upside down. Because, you see, the question we're really asking here isn't just about who scored more goals or who lifted the most trophies. It goes way deeper than that. We're looking at the machine versus the magician to figure out one profound mystery. Which of these players fundamentally changed how millions of kids dreamed about football? By the end of this, we're going to uncover exactly how both guys left a massive cultural footprint on the sport. And honestly, you might completely change your mind about who had the ultimate influence on today's youth. Moving right into Section 1, two different football legends, focusing on perfection versus imagination. Look, both of these guys achieved unquestionable legendary status, right? But they reached the absolute pinnacle of world football in totally opposite ways. We aren't just talking about two different players here. We're talking about two entirely different philosophies of how the beautiful game should be played. On one side, you have this legacy built on relentless discipline, insane physical fitness, and this burning desire to get better every single day. That's the path of mastering perfection. But on the other side, a legacy defined by playing with a massive smile, breathtaking creativity, and just effortless flair, mastering imagination. They're literally the perfect contrast to one another. Which brings us to Section 2, Ronaldo, the discipline blueprint and the power of manufactured greatness. So, Cristiano's story didn't start with him being the biggest or the strongest kid on the pitch. It started on the Portuguese island of Madeira. And sure, his talent was obvious early on, but what truly set him apart was that he outworked absolutely everyone around him. He didn't just coast on natural gifts, he basically manufactured his own greatness through a work ethic that became legendary all over the globe. That unmatched drive carried him across Europe's biggest stages. We're talking Sporting CP, Manchester United, Real Madrid, and Juventus. At every single stop, he weaponized his speed, his lethal finishing, that crazy heading ability, and just sheer willpower. He didn't just play in these leagues, he totally dominated them, breaking almost every imaginable record to become one of history's highest goal scorers. But here's the thing. His true impact isn't just sitting in some trophy cabinet. Millions of young athletes around the world meticulously copy his discipline. I mean, they copy his diet, his gym routines, even his post-match recovery. Why? Because Cristiano Ronaldo provided absolute, tangible proof that if you grind hard enough, your dreams can actually come true. He built this global culture of dedication, showing kids everywhere that greatness isn't just handed to you. It's something you build day by grueling day. Okay, shifting gears to Section 3, Ronaldinho, the imagination canvas and the artist of Barcelona. As any true football fan knows, the game isn't just about numbers, gym sessions, or dry statistics. Sometimes it's about pure magic, moments that you literally never ever forget. If Ronaldo is the machine, Ronaldinho was the artist. We are talking about elasticos that just casually defied physics, cheeky no-look passes, audacious rainbow flicks, and dribbles that honestly seemed impossible. Every single time he touched the ball, it felt completely unpredictable. Fans didn't just sit and watch him play. They beamed. They smiled the whole time. When he was transforming Barcelona, his joy was so infectious and his brilliance so undeniable that even his fiercest rivals on the pitch often had no choice but to literally stop and applaud him. And that brings us right back to his massive cultural impact. Think about this. Some of the absolute biggest stars playing the game today trace their entire passion for the sport directly back to watching Ronaldinho. He wasn't just entertaining the crowd. He was actively inspiring a whole generation of current pros. His flair, his wild creativity, and that famous, ever-present smile, they became the sole reason so many young kids decided to even pick up a football in the first place. Let's look at Section 4 now, measuring their cultural impact by removing the trophies and stats. So let's try a really fascinating thought experiment. If you completely strip away the Ballon d'Ors, if you take away the Champions League medals, and totally ignore the goal-scoring stats, how do we actually measure who had the greater cultural impact on the beautiful game? How do you weigh two massive yet totally opposite spheres of influence? Well, the contrast is incredibly clear. On one hand, CR7 represents pure dedication, consistency, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. His legacy inspires people to train harder, to value strict discipline, and basically push the absolute limits of human potential. On the other hand, R10 represents creativity, ultimate freedom, and pure, unfiltered joy. His legacy reminds the world that football is, at its core, entertainment. He inspires people to play with total confidence and a super vivid imagination. The ultimate takeaway here? Neither approach is wrong. Not at all. They just represent totally different sides of the exact same beautiful game. Both of these vastly different philosophies successfully shaped global football culture. One gave the youth a strict blueprint for how to work, while the other gave them a beautiful reason to dream. And together, their contrasting styles have heavily influenced the entire next generation of players and fans alike. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to debate amongst yourselves. Knowing everything we've just covered about their cultural footprints and specifically how they influence the youth, who do you think changed football more? Was it Cristiano Ronaldo, the record-breaking machine who completely redefined athletic dedication? Or was it Ronaldinho, the joyful magician who made millions fall head over heels in love with the sport? There might never be one single correct answer, but hey, it's your turn to decide. Let us know if you're Team CR7 or Team R10. Keep exploring, keep debating, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.